Hey there, thanks for clicking on this video. Before we dive into this intense story, I want to ask you something real. Have you ever been cheated on? If yes, how did you find out? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one. Now buckle up, because this story isn't just about heartbreak. It's about betrayal, anger, and what happens when the person you trusted the most turns out to be a stranger. Enjoy the video. They say you never really know someone until you've seen what they're capable of when they think no one's watching. I used to think that was just a cynical take. That was before I had to peel back 9 years of shared life and find rot underneath. I met her when I was 22. Back then, love was simple. She was the first woman I ever slept with, and I was hers. That made it feel sacred. I genuinely believed that when you find someone like that, you're first, you're only. That's the kind of bond no time or temptation can break. We grew together. Through student debt, new jobs, promotions, layoffs, birthdays, funerals, ugly fights, and quiet reconciliations. 9 years. 9 years of building something real. Or so I thought. The engagement happened in early spring, just over 2 months ago. It was the happiest day of my life. I had the ring hidden in my coat pocket for weeks, waiting for the right moment. I proposed during a quiet weekend getaway at the lake where we had our first trip together. She cried, said yes before I even finished asking. We laughed, we kissed, and we made promises. Ones I now realize were only mine to keep. After the proposal, I thought we'd entered a new chapter. Things felt deeper, intimate, like we were finally sinking into the rhythm of forever. God, I was so wrong. The shift was so subtle. I thought I was imagining it. She'd be distant for a moment, then overcompensate with affection. She'd get texts and tilt her phone just slightly away. I told myself it was nothing, that she was just stressed. Wedding planning, maybe. Life. The truth came to me in the ugliest way, through someone else's pity. One of her friends pulled me aside, said, "You don't deserve this, and I can't keep lying for her." I didn't even believe it at first. My stomach dropped. My ears rang. It felt like someone was reading me a plot twist from a book I hadn't finished yet. "She cheated," she said. "It was a one-time thing. She was drunk. It was my brother." I didn't want to believe it. Couldn't. My fiancé? With your brother? When I confronted her, she didn't deny it. She didn't even flinch. Just sat there, pale, guilty, crying before I asked a single question. She said she was drunk. That she didn't plan it, that it meant nothing, just a mistake. One stupid, senseless mistake. But here's the part that crushed me. She was curious. She said, "We've only ever been with each other. I just wanted to know what it felt like." And I was drunk. Like being drunk erased intent. Like the betrayal didn't count because she felt foggy doing it. Like 9 years could be offset by one night of wondering what sex would be like with someone else. Someone so close to home. She told me we could fix it, that it didn't have to end us. But I didn't feel anger at first. I felt hollow, like someone had cut open my chest and scooped everything out. The mind does something strange when your world collapses. It replays everything, every little moment, every word she said, like it's trying to locate the exact second everything broke. I started seeing things in reverse. That night she came home late last month. She said she went out with the girls for a few drinks. I remember how her lipstick was smudged, how she laughed too loudly at something on her phone. I asked if everything was okay, and she hugged me too tightly, the kind of hug people give when they feel guilty, not affectionate. At the time, I told myself to stop overthinking, that I was just being insecure. Now I know better. It was the night. That night. The betrayal wasn't just in the act. It was in the lies that followed. The smiles. The way she made breakfast the next morning like nothing happened. How she laid in our bed, curled up against me, pretending to be the woman who loved me. I've gone through every message she ever sent. Every picture we ever took. It's like I'm desperate to salvage something. Anything that felt real. But everything feels poison now. She told me it was a mistake. That it didn't mean anything. But a mistake is forgetting an anniversary. A mistake is burning dinner. What she did wasn't a mistake. It was a choice. A conscious decision. in the middle of the night in someone else's bed, with someone else's hands on her body. Drunk or not, she made a decision. And you know what broke me the most? It was the fact that she confessed nothing. She would have taken this to the grave if her friend hadn't said something. I would have married her, built a future with a lie at the foundation, started a family, grown old with someone who could betray me that deeply and never tell me. I asked her, point blank, "Did you enjoy it?" She cried, said no, swore it felt wrong the entire time, that she thought of me and hated herself for it. But I saw her face. She hesitated. For a second, her eyes dropped, and she swallowed hard. And I knew she did enjoy it. Maybe not emotionally, maybe not with her whole heart. But in the moment, her body said yes. Her mind might have screamed no later, but in that room she said yes. Over and over, I kept asking myself if I had failed her. If maybe I had become boring, predictable. If maybe I hadn't been enough, in bed, in life, in love. It's a dangerous spiral. One I know isn't fair. But when someone you love stabs you in the back, your mind looks for reasons to blame yourself. Because blaming them means accepting that they're not who you thought they were, and that's even harder to face. She begged. She wept. She said she was broken, that she wanted to rebuild us. I told her to take off the ring. She hesitated, trembling, her hands shaking. And in that second, it hit me. She didn't want to give it up not because she loved me, but because she didn't want to deal with the consequences of her actions. She wanted the comfort back, the safety, but not the truth. So I made it easy for her. Take off. She did, slowly, like it hurt. Good. I hope it did. I told her to pack her things and get out. The silence after that was unbearable. Just the sound of zippers, of things being stuffed into bags, of drawers being emptied, the sound of a future unraveling in real time. I sat on the couch, motionless, staring at the engagement photo still sitting on our shelf. She walked out without looking back. And I didn't stop her. I didn't cry that night. I didn't scream. I didn't smash things or drink myself into a stupor. I just sat there, staring at the empty hallway, waiting for the sound of her car pulling away, waiting for the final nail in the coffin of what used to be us. And when I heard the engine start, it was like something inside me finally snapped. Not in rage, not in sorrow, just silence. Cold, detached emptiness. It wasn't grief anymore. It was disgust. The next morning, I told my family everything. It was harder than I thought it would be. Telling the people who always believed in us, who looked at our relationship as the gold standard, that it was all a lie, that she cheated, that it wasn't just a mistake. It was with someone she knew, someone tied to her circle. My mom cried. My dad was quiet for a long time. Then he looked me in the eye and said, "Proud of you for not marrying a fraud." That word hit hard, fraud. She was a fraud. Everything she built with me, her words, her promises, even her tears, all of it was now questionable. I didn't know where the real version of her ended and the fake one began. My sister was furious. She said, "You always gave her too much credit, too much benefit of the doubt. You made excuses for her even when you shouldn't have." She was right, and for the first time I admitted it. I always defended her. I thought it was love, but maybe it was just denial. Then came her family. Her mother called. She was heartbroken. Not angry, not confrontational, just sad. She said she understood why I was walking away. She told me I was a good man and that I didn't deserve this. That if she were in my shoes, she'd do the same. But her father? He was a different story. He said, "Come on, son. It was one drunken mistake. 9 years down the drain over a single night? Doesn't that feel excessive?" Excessive? I wanted to scream. I wanted to ask him if he'd feel the same way if someone did that to his daughter. If someone she loved, trusted, built a life with, decided one night to try out someone else's bed just to see how it felt, and then kept that secret like it meant nothing. Excessive? No. You know what's excessive? The years I spent protecting her, supporting her, loving her like she was the only woman in the world. but she wanted to know what it felt like to be with someone else. So badly, she threw away our entire history. That's not a mistake. That's not a one-off. That's selfishness. That's a crack in your character that no apology can fill. I told her father the truth. If I marry her, every time I look at her, I'll see someone else's hands on her. I'll hear her lies. I'll remember that I was disposable. There was silence on the line. He hung up. Days passed. She texted me once. Please, I miss you. I'm so sorry. Can we talk? I stared at the screen for a long time. My thumb hovered over the keyboard. Part of me wanted to unleash everything I was feeling, to rip her apart with words that would haunt her. But I didn't. Instead, I blocked her, because even acknowledging her now feels like disrespecting myself. And that's the part no one tells you about heartbreak. That one day it won't just hurt, it'll make you angry. It'll make you ashamed that you loved someone so completely who saw you as an option, not a priority. The love I had for her, the one that once kept me warm, now burns like acid in my chest. Every memory feels infected. Every kiss, every trip, every I love you, corrupted. And worst of all, I know I'll never get that part of me back. The part that believed in forever. The part that thought loyalty was sacred. The part that saw her as home. That part of me died the night she did what she did. And I buried it with the ring she left behind. People think the worst part is finding out. It's not. The worst part is waking up the next morning and realizing nothing feels real anymore. The silence in the apartment wasn't peaceful. It was suffocating. Her toothbrush was still in the holder. Her scent still lingered on the pillow. There were half-eaten cookies in the pantry, the kind only she liked. Everything was still hers, but she was gone. It's like she ghosted her own life. I deleted our photos, but not all of them. Some I kept, out of some twisted form of self-punishment. I'd open my gallery late at night and scroll through pictures of her smiling, laughing, hugging me like I was the only man in her world, and I'd whisper to myself, liar. People told me, get back out there, man. Don't let her ruin love for you. But that's the thing. She didn't just ruin love. She rewired it. Now, when someone shows me affection, I question the motive. When someone says, I'd never hurt you, I flinch, because I've heard those words before. And look how that turned out. I downloaded dating apps. I tried to talk to new women, match after match, but nothing stuck. I'd start conversations and halfway through, I'd zone out. I'd compare their tone of voice, their laughter, their way of typing to hers. And I hated myself for doing it. Every first date felt like I was cheating on my own trauma. Once, I made it as far as going back to someone's apartment. She was sweet, beautiful. She leaned in to kiss me, and all I could see was her, my ex, on that bed, with another man. I froze, apologized, left. I remember sitting in my car afterward, gripping the steering wheel until my knuckles turned white. I screamed, punched the dashboard, not because I missed her, but because she still had power over my body, my mind, and she didn't deserve that. I started therapy. For the first few sessions, I just sat there in silence. The therapist asked, "What do you want out of this?" I said, "I want to stop hating women." It shocked me to hear myself say that, but it was the truth. I didn't hate her anymore, not personally. I hated what she made me see. That betrayal wasn't rare. That people lie with a straight face. That even someone who swears they love you can still strip away your dignity in a single night. I was angry at the world. Angry that I gave her all of me, every vulnerable part, and it still wasn't enough. I started to think maybe love was a scam. The fairy tale we buy into so we don't feel alone. A story we tell ourselves to make sex feel more meaningful, to make time feel more important. Because if she could do that to me, someone who loved her, protected her, honored her, what hope is there for anyone else? My friends got tired of hearing about it. I could see it in their eyes. They'd say things like, "You gotta let it go, man." But I wasn't ready, because letting it go felt like admitting that it meant nothing. That 9 years could disappear without consequence. That a ring could lose its value over one drunken night. I wasn't ready for that, so I stayed angry. because at least anger made me feel something. At least it was better than the numbness. There wasn't some big turning point, no aha moment, no romanticized epiphany in the shower. What happened was simple. I woke up one morning and didn't feel like checking her Instagram. I didn't scroll through old photos. I didn't rehearse what I would have said to her if I saw her again. I just went on with my day. That was the shift. Healing didn't arrive like lightning, came quietly, like fog lifting after a long storm, slowly, then all at once. For months, I thought closure would come from answers. That if I just knew why she did it, if she admitted she enjoyed it, or if she cried hard enough or begged the right way, I could finally let it go. But the truth is, closure has nothing to do with them. Closure happens the moment you realize you deserve better, and they were never capable of giving it to you. She didn't cheat because I lacked something. She cheated because she did. Weakness, impulsiveness, selfishness. Whatever the root cause, it lived inside her long before she acted on it. I just didn't want to see it. I was so in love with who I thought she was, I ignored who she really was. I painted her as this loyal, ride-or-die partner because I needed to believe love like that still existed. I wanted her to be the one so badly that I tolerated things I shouldn't have. I forgave too fast. I dismissed too much. I confused comfort with commitment. But love isn't about who you start with. It's about who shows up consistently. And she stopped showing up long before she took off that ring. One day, a friend asked me if I'd ever take her back if she came crawling. I laughed. Not a bitter laugh. Not sarcastic. Just honest. No, I said. Not because I hate her, but because I've finally remembered who the hell I am. I'm the guy who gave 9 years of loyalty, who never cheated, never strayed, never even thought about it. The guy who showed up on the good days and the brutal ones. The man who would have carried the weight of our life together, no matter how heavy it got. She didn't just lose a boyfriend. She lost someone who would have never given up on her. And me? I lost a liar. That's not a loss. That's a damn escape. I won't lie, I still flinch sometimes. I still overthink when someone new touches me, smiles too quickly, promises too much too soon. But I've learned to listen to myself more, to move slower, to trust less. Not because I'm broken, but because I'm healing. Real love? Maybe it's still out there. Maybe it'll find me when I'm not looking, or maybe I'll find peace alone. Either way, I'll be fine. Because now, I don't need someone to complete me. I just need someone who won't destroy me. And until then, I'll be good on my own. If you made it all the way to the end, thank you. Seriously, your time means a lot to me. If this story hit you in any way, do me a favor. Drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. It's the best way to support what I do here. And whatever you're going through right now, stay strong. Have a great day.